How to handle action economy for a single boss. This is from Sparky McDibbin on the Cyberpunk Red subreddit. I like to run a slasher killer, not a cyber psycho, a slasher, a full-bore Michael Myers type. How would you handle the action economy for a 4v1 fight? Things you can't use. Mook swarms. Trash mobs are not available to the killer. Isolating players. At some point, the players will find and gang up on this guy, and I want him to be a challenge. Terrain and cover. Already have that sorted. Ideas appreciated. They've given us some parameters on how to deal with one single boss that's like a Michael Myers type. So what is a Michael Myers type? Michael Myers is the type of killer that you shoot him, you stab him, you punch him, you throw him down a flight of stairs, and you're like, okay, we got him, and everybody like hugs and goes like, movie's over. Credits, before the credits roll, he's like hiding in the bushes. So that's what Michael Myers is. He's unkillable, unstoppable, doesn't talk, and he's coming after you to kill you. Okay, what I would do is I would make sure that whatever this boss has is, it gives them the ability to have more action economy. Basically, you're cheating the system a little bit. You're going a little bit off of rules as written, and instead of using one of the stat blocks that, you know, for the veterans, the lieutenants or whatever, you're making somebody that breaks the rules. And I think that it's okay because this is a boss. You know what I mean? This is a boss fight. The players are supposed to feel like it's not fair, and the players need to understand that it's not fair. So having a single boss doing 3 attacks per round instead of 1, I think would be okay. If they are like Michael Myers and they're using a small knife, have that knife do extra damage, like a lot extra damage. 5d6 plus 3. Don't be afraid to add plus something to your damage. That's part of my homebrew rules. I add damage to my damage rolls. So I'll have a gun that does 3d6 plus 2. I'll have another gun that does 4d6 plus 1. So like, which one's better? The other one was like rate of fire 2. This one's rate of fire 1. You know, you're doing minimum 2 damage. The other one, you're doing minimum 3 damage. So you can kind of mess around with that plus X amount of damage to give them a little bit of a boost. When they're doing a minimum amount of damage, like, you know, 4d6 plus 4, they're doing 5 damage minimum. Even if they roll a 1, they're doing 5 damage. So that makes sure that the boss hits hard. They can hit multiple times. If you feel like the boss is doing too much damage, you can always turn it up and turn it down. The boss pushes one of the players. The boss grabs one of the players and throws them. The boss trips one of the players. The boss, you know, is so powerful that it flips a car and the car lands on one of the players, doing damage that way. But basically, you want the boss to be able to move and maneuver in a way where they might even disappear. Oh, that's a fun thing you can do. So you can have them run behind a piece of cover, or they walk behind a piece of cover, you know, to be cool. And then the players are like, okay, well, we got to get an angle on him because, you know, the golden rule of cover is if he is completely covered by cover, then we can't shoot him. If we can't see him, we can't shoot him. That's the rules in Cyberpunk. So they go, okay, let's cut an angle on him. They cut an angle and he's gone. That's some Michael Myers shit. He was there and now he's gone. Where did he go? Was there a trap door? Like, what the fuck? Where did he go? Those are the kind of things you can do. You just take him off the map, and now the players are looking for him. Maybe they have to roll perception checks. Maybe they have to do some kind of thing like that, and then you bring him back. You can't do that too many times, though, because then the players are like, okay, you're just going to, you know, hack off our arms and legs and then disappear. But you can do it every now and then. And give them a perception check. If they do the perception check, then they see him. He was hiding nearby, you know. Give him more actions. Make it so he kind of breaks the rules a little bit. And I wouldn't be too worried about it, especially if the players are like, if you have the kind of group that would criticize you for going out of the box, then you could be like, look, either I have this boss with 10 other goons, or I have one boss that breaks the rules and acts on their own. What's the difference between one boss having 4 attacks and 6 bad guys having 6 attacks? You know what I mean? We're kind of like, we're splitting hairs a little bit. I understand the boss is more proficient, but action economy is just as dangerous as the proficiency as the boss. So we're kind of splitting hairs that way. It's not too big of a leap, in my opinion. I think giving one boss more than one attack, 2 attacks, 3 attacks is basically equivalent as having a bunch of other dudes fighting all at once. Lord Jesus says, an ambush first off, if the boss can get the jump on the party and hit someone before combat starts to do that. It'll help even the odds, especially if the boss gets an aimed shot to the leg off. Yeah, that's a good idea. Make sure that the killer gets an ambush off. You know, give them the bonuses. Let the players roll against it. You know, don't make it a gimme. But you know, make it so the boss is likely to ambush. And when I said that, you know, you take them off the map and bring them back as an ambush. You know what I mean? You could do something like that so they get a free attack on. Batteries 15 says, depends on how gamey you want it, but I'd suggest maybe an environmental defense that has to separately countered, a shield that can be hacked, or an area that automatically repairs the enemy's armor until the area is directly targeted. That's a really good point. You can have some kind of environmental factor that the players have to deal with. We see this in video games a lot. It's like the boss is immune unless you know, flip 3 switches that are around the room. And in order to flip the 3 switches, like, everybody has to be there at the same time. I had an idea for a boss once. It was supposed to be a Halloween thing, which, you know, this is cool. I had an idea where a boss was like using this new nanotechnology that basically infected them. It was like a nanobot technology. So this swarm of nanobots is like using this guy as a puppet. He's Cyber Psycho. And when the players attack the boss and shoot him and cut him and do all the things that they do, the nanobots go on and repair him at the same time. So the only way to defeat him was to use an EMP attack, which, you know, I made sure they got an EMP grenade or 2 or whatever through some crafty stuff through the campaign. It was a one-shot. And they use the EMP to destroy the nanobots, and then they can actually do damage and have this guy not heal himself. Looking at some of these comments, I see some really cool comments here. This one says traps, lots of traps, maybe some jigsaw type stuff to soften your guys up and make them have to use their brains. Yeah, traps is a really good answer. I feel like that is a very underutilized part of Cyberpunk Red, even by me. I've used it a few times, and I found it to be really fun. My players really liked traps. So I think traps is a really good idea. Having a Michael Myers that's intelligent enough to create traps is pretty nuts. That's scary. Oh, wow, this is cool. So basically, another Clumsy Leper is saying you add a net architecture to the Michael Myers, and the net architecture is connected to demons that have automated melee weapons and turrets on them. So they're basically a... I mean, this is exactly what I did in my one-shot. They are basically an obliterator from Warhammer. An obliterator is a space marine that was infected by guns. And he has guns coming out of, like, every part of his body. And he's just a big... He looks like a Cyber Psycho, too. So, yeah, basically you want to make an obliterator. I like that. I like that the net architecture is taking care of all the guns and weapons and stuff. Okay, so that's how to handle the action economy for a single boss. I like this one. Hey Chooms, I hope you like that. If you like more of that, then click on that link on the top right corner there and you can check out the full VOD of everything I said in this clip. And stay tuned for more times when I go live. I appreciate all the love and support. If you guys really want to support me, you can go to patreon.com/JonJonTheWise, and you can use the link in the description below to go to Monster Fight Club to get some official Cyberpunk Red minis, terrain, you name it. I will get a portion of the sales if you do so. Thank you all for your support, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.